Welcome along, everybody. This is Choops once again for the third installation of the Reno Lock deck. Obviously, I have my tea. And just before we get into the two games, as everyone is now aware, we've had of the Old Gods expansion. I actually missed the launch of it. I've been out of the country for a couple of days. I didn't really get to play during the time, but the time that I did get to myself, I quite pathetically was thinking about some of the decks I'd like to create, and I decided I'd like to persevere with the idea of a Reno deck while trying to incorporate Cthulhu. Now, I think that the last video I made, or the last game I played, I was 4 stars. Sorry, I was rank 4 and 5 stars. When I got back, I made a deck, and obviously I had been reviewing cards that I'd heard had been released, and I'd put together some semblance of a deck with Cthulhu and Reno, and I didn't do particularly well. I think I won maybe 2 games and lost like 8, I think. I made some tweaks, played a couple of games, it was like 50-50, maybe 40% win. Then changed to more things and moved closer towards the deck I'm playing now. Started to win some games. I made one final tweak, and I think, yeah, I'm 6-2. I lovingly call this deck Never Die Jeff because, well, I don't know why my name's not Jeff, but I think we all have a little bit of Jeff in us, and nobody wants to die, so it was lovingly named Never Die Jeff. Now, a little disclaimer about this deck. I'm now at rank 3. I've kind of fought my way back with this deck. And as I said, the disclaimer is that I have no experience really creating decks. I've tweaked existing decks. This deck is really entirely new, and I created myself, and I haven't been playing the game anywhere near enough to warrant creating decks seriously. This is a deck I put together and tested and tweaked with a limited number of games, and it is seeing success probably because people aren't playing Cthulhu decks optimally or anywhere near. Neither would I, because you just can't. It's very rare you can just pick up a new deck with a whole load of new cards and play it absolutely perfectly. So it could be that I'm taking advantage of some of the weaker kind of plays, but I'll run you through the deck very quickly, what I was trying to do, and it's very unlikely you'll have ever seen a deck like this, or maybe we'll ever see, because it's probably trash, and I said maybe I've been lucky with it, but I have enjoyed it. This deck, the idea behind it is that I'm never really going to win with the deck. I need my opponent to lose to my deck, and that I don't expect to win before I see their Cthulhu. My previous Reno decks that I've been playing, generally I win towards the end of the game, but if I had a nice draw of cards and my opponent had a particularly unlucky draw of cards, I had enough ammunition in the deck to force a fairly early win. This deck doesn't really have that. This deck is more of a survival deck. It's not purely survival, there aren't that many taunts and things in it. It's a difficult deck to kill. So I'll talk you through it. And if you like it, you can take a copy of it and try it yourself. Try a couple of casual games. So the first card that I haven't really seen, I think I've seen it once, is Forbidden Ritual. Now I like this card because it's one of these. Reno decks have a tendency sometimes to reach a certain point in the game where they don't have anything to play, and that Forbidden Ritual is just a perfect filler card. You might be on turn 6 and you don't really have any 6 drops that you want to play, and you maybe run out of kind of 2, 3, 4 drops, and that Forbidden Ritual just fills that void perfectly. It fills your board with minions pretty much at turn 6, and it's a nice thing to have. It's versatile, and I think a Reno deck can always use the versatility. Mortal Coil is a staple. Tentacle, I don't even know how to say it. Nzoth? If it's Cthulhu, that might be Noth. I have no idea. The Tentacle anyway. Again, this is maybe a bit hit or miss, but I like it because what I've found in the deck was that I was always missing just one attack. I'm because I'm playing a deck that's almost kind of always behind tempo a little bit. It's always behind the curve a little bit. I was finding that I was losing to the board, and sometimes just being able to do one damage to the board changes a game's dynamics so much, and it lets you back into the game. And it pairs well with some cards we'll get to later on. Beckoner of Evil, that's pretty standard Cthulhu card that everyone's kind of who's got Cthulhu is running. Dark Peddler, a staple card for the Warlock. Doomsayer, this I think is a 50-50 card. I like it because Silence seems to, for half the time being, disappeared from the game, and it kind of lets you sneak in and clear these kind of middling 2, 3, 3, 4 health heroes, cards rather, not heroes. And it's nice. It's 2 cost. It's a throwaway card, but it can win you back the board, or at the very least, it's a 7 damage soak. Sunfear Protector, again, staple card. Demon Wrath, again, staple card really for a Reno deck. Now the addition is this Spreading Madness. Now the reason I put Spreading Madness in is because I can't put 2 Demon Wraths and I can't put 2 Hellfires in. It's just literally another AoE clear, and it's particularly nice because I've found that I'm never going to have more than 2 minions on the board, really, or it's very rare for me to have more than 2 minions on the board, and Spreading Madness deals with middling minions very well. Even if it doesn't do enough to clear, it can take them down into, for a double AoE, it works. I've really quite enjoyed playing Spreading Madness, and hopefully we'll get to kind of feature it in the games we're about to play. Sorry, my voice is abandoning me. Disciple of Cthulhu, again, staple card. Being in standard, we've lost some really nice cards from Reno. Dark Bomb being one. He's like a version of Dark Bomb, but not quite as efficient, I guess. It leaves a body on the board. Farseer, again, I'm finding a lot of the cards just now seem to be 4 health. Like the I think we have one down here somewhere. The little kind of gnome that you play that's 3/4 and busts Cthulhu for 1/1 at the end of every turn. Cards like that are proving difficult. Oh, there he is, Twilight Elder. Cards like that are just really, really quite annoying for the Farseer to play against, because you're always just 1 health out, which is why I was playing cards like the Tentacle of N'Zoth, because it just brings that balance back. It lets you kind of grab control back of the board and kind of bring things back to a balance. Imgang Boss, again, staple card. Twilight Elder, a staple card for Cthulhu, I guess. Hellfire, standard AoE. Shadow Flame, standard AoE. Cthulhu Chosen, and maybe it doesn't really belong in this deck because of its architecture. You know, it's more of an aggressive card, but I think sometimes it's a fairly cheap 4 attack card that I can Shadow Flame down. I don't have my my Shredder anymore, unfortunately. He was my favorite kind of 4-drop to Shadow Flame, but it's an alternative to that, I suppose, even though you don't get anything at the end of it. The Horror, a very nice card for playing against any kind of aggro. Really, really nice card. Defender of Argus, staple. Freshman Vendor, kind of a staple for me. Twilight Drake, staple. Big Game Hunter, I would never play without. I just never would. It sees too much use. The Apothecary, I really enjoy again. It's perfect for any kind of Zoo, Shaman decks. Even the Hunter decks, it does well. Even these kind of mid-range decks that we're seeing, it does fairly well against. Harrison Jones, purely targeted for the Shamans. I anticipate a lot of Shaman activity, trying to sneak into an easy legend. Siphon Soul, staple card, really. Reno, obviously, the deck's kind of built around him. Sylvanas I've put in, primarily I save Sylvanas for the AoE Shadow Flame, so I steal their Cthulhu. That's kind of what that's for. That's really all that's for. And it's worked in quite a lot of games, because predominantly people are playing Cthulhu, and it's just a perfect counter. Keep myself nice and high, and if I can't, we always have Reno. Twin Emperor was the most recent card I added. I did have Brom, the one that's like 3/9 and absorbs all the damage. He was a perfect counter to Cthulhu as well, but I found he was just a little bit too static. People can just ignore it and just hit you in the face, and they don't lose the minion. So I swapped it out for the Emperor. I don't run as many Cthulhu buff cards in this deck, but you don't struggle really getting him to 10. And I think this is probably the most powerful card in the game. It really is undervalued, and if you're not using it yet, then get it in your deck. If you're playing Cthulhu, get him in your deck. Twisting Nether, again, stable card. Jaraxxus I kept in because I was finding that priests were just a problem for me. Jaraxxus is like an 80% win ratio against priests, provided they don't have some kind of crazy the 4-drop priest with 2 flash heals or whatever. Provided they don't have that, you're okay. And obviously then Cthulhu by himself. Now my Cthulhu's never going to be as big and as powerful as some of the Cthulhu's because there aren't that many buff cards in, but he's still a nice finisher. I mean, because the cards I'm playing are probably of less value because I only have one of each, that's why I tap very aggressively in this, and I'm tapping down to fairly low HP. I could argue for Molten Giant going into this, but 5 extra health is just a killer. It really is. It can sit there as a dead card for too long. But that's the idea. We tap so aggressively is to find answers to the cards they're playing, and if we go too low, then we just Reno. That's the idea, with various kind of little heals along the way to kind of keep us in the game. So obviously we'll see how we get on. As I said, I'm 6'2", I think. Yeah, 6'2". With this at the moment, we'll see how we get on. So the first game is against Thrall. Most likely aggro Shaman, but maybe not. I'm really looking for Reno Harrison here. Tempted to get rid of even these two, but they're the lowest cost cards I have pretty much, apart from my Doomsayer is quite nice. Apothecary is a good card to pick. Diamond Skull, I recognise that name. Okay, well he's typical aggro. Well, it's not typical because they didn't usually run the Ardent Squires. I guess I probably coin into the Peddler. If he clears it or makes any attempt to kill it, I can just Doomsayer next turn. Even coining into Doomsayer isn't far away from my mind, because then I can go into the 2-drop and then the 3-drop and then pick off with the Apothecary. No, I think I can't be too passive against a Shaman. That's maybe a bit too painful. If I had Reno in my deck, I'd be taking the Flame Imp. I'm not really going to be tapping too much against him, so I think I'll actually take Sir Finley, which is kind of weird. I know, but Flame Imp, the 3 health can just make such a difference. If he is a typical aggro Shaman, fake Shaman, it's a difficult pick. I can't see myself tapping too much here, but I'll go Sir Finley. That might be a mistake, but I almost never tap against a face Shaman. If he's not a face Shaman, then I'm an idiot, because I want my tap for anything that isn't face. Okay, well, there we go. Now this is an easy Doomsayer turn. And if he survives the Doomsayer, then we've got Hellfire. So he might Earthshock it, which would suck. But I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to have it. I mean, I don't think people would tend to keep Earthshock against a Warlock. It wouldn't make any sense. Okay, we get rid of a nice Flame Tongue and a chunky little 1-drop there. And we'll go straight into the Imp Gun. So if he takes the Hunter's Hero Power, then we know straight away he's definitely aggro, although it's kind of obvious that's what he is. It doesn't look like he has... What? An armor up. Well, that's weird. Okay, well, let's see what we get. I have no idea what he's going to play next. Absolutely no idea. That really confused me. Unless it was the best of a bad bunch. I don't know, but... Okay. Oh, this is an easy Hellfire. Value. Sorry, Jeff. It never dies. Oh, he's down to 2 cards. Just 3 out of 5. That's an encouraging start for us. Apothecary is kind of a dead card now. Unless he plays 2 little minions here, that would be nice. But I think he's going to play 1 in hero power, maybe. Or just hero power. That kind of sucks. Well, I think... because I'm still not entirely sure that he's purely face, because of the hero power choice, I could have Forbidden Ritualed here, filled the board, and kind of really pushed the issue. So as it is, I could RenoThun, little dude, and tap. He's low on cards. I don't really need to dip into my HP if I don't have to. I can just Forbidden Ritual, run the 2 into the 2. I'm worried about Lightning Storm. Or is that what it's called? The 2/3 for all your minions. That's why I don't really want to Forbidden Ritual until I know exactly for sure what his deck is. Yeah, okay. We'll be greedy. If he Lightning Storms them all, or whatever the hell, I forget what the spell's called. But if he does, then he does. If not, then we're in pretty decent shape. I mean, that's 7 damage on the board, and seven separate minions. It's very difficult to deal with. That's why I like the card. It's versatile.
I wonder.
I still have my kind of 2-power Dark Bomb. What? Okay, so he's not aggro, especially. Okay, well, so he has 10 on the board. We'll run all 7 in, play Madness, I think. Yeah, and see what we got left. Oh, come on, you have to clear. It's not exactly what I was looking for, but never mind. Wow, Cthulhu's got his first buff in turn 6. Well, he's down to 2 cards, as I said. He's still, we're not at great risk. We can still tap for more. Don't be taunt, don't be taunt. Oh, that's a bit mean. I don't want to give him any cards at all. I'm actually tempted to Defender of Argus that off, because it's awkward as hell. That's really, really, really awkward. Okay, since he's not aggro, he's some kind of mid-shaman, so I have to get rid of that. It's going to have to die. What else do I play with it? If I tap, I go down to what? 5. I don't really want to play Finley here. How much nicer would the Flame Imp have been? I guess the best play is tap, Defender, well, Sir Finley and then Defender. But I don't really want to do that. Let's see what tap gives us. Oh, this is awkward as hell, man. I don't want to lose the tap, really. I need it too much. And I have Reno, so it makes sense to be aggressive. I couldn't let him draw cards. I just couldn't do it. I'm in no real danger of dying that quickly. So okay, so maybe he is face. I didn't expect to see that thing, and that's That's a horrible card, by the way, an absolutely horrible card. Well, right on time. Thank you. Right on time. I wish I had 9. 9 would have been nice. I guess I tap and BGH. I think that makes the most obvious choice.
I've got the beast in my side.
I'll go face. There's no point running into that, really. He's probably killed by Game Hunter, so. Okay, well, I'm glad we have a Reno, because this can get out of control very, very quickly. He's probably going to kill that, which is kind of annoying. If he's sensible, he'll kill that. Oh, he's going to be greedy. Oh, wow, bro. Oh, dear. Greed for days.
Gotcha.
Well, that's quite easy. Tap. Reno. It's funny, I've been reading Reddit and everyone's been telling me that Reno is a dead card now. It's, you know, it's just for, you know, well, for fun, really. It's a trivial card now, and it's just really for lols. It's not really a serious card anymore. I mean, you know, maybe I've been lucky with my first matchup, but as I said, this is my 9th game, I think, with this deck.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
And it's worked out just fine so far. My Cthulhu isn't over that limit yet, so he'll have to wait. I think I play him and him.
Into the breach.
Into the breach.
I have no time for games.
Yeah. Twin M's next turn. I like to think the game's kind of sewn up now. Obviously, he can still get Rockbiter and do 10 damage out of nowhere, and then Lava Shock not Lava Shock, Lava Thingy my face for 5 damage. Wow, no minions to transform. He's having a bad time. I mean, if I'd left that Mana Spring card alive, then this whole game could be different. You'd only have to draw one card that allows him to draw more cards, and the whole game changes. I guess tap and Twin Imps.
The Feast of Souls.
The Feast of Souls. Such an amazing card. Best card of the game so far, or of the expansion rather.
Let none
Just kill that.
survive.
He wants to do 1 damage to it. Can occur. I would imagine the concede's coming soon, but I don't know.
You win.
There we go. I don't queue. Okay, well the first one's a win. Let's see who we get next. Okay, we have a Druid. Now, the 2 losses I have are actually against Druids. I don't do very well against Druids. Reno a lot got smashed in Druids before the expansion, and I'm still getting smashed by them now, unfortunately. I'm always behind a little bit with the curve, but with Druids I'm just too far behind. I've really struggled. I think I must have like a 20-something% win ratio against Druids on this kind of deck. Oh, straight into the Innervate. Oh, 4-drop.
Bathe in flame.
Oh, Jesus, what?
My greetings.
Yeah, greetings, brother.
I greet you.
Hey, some kind of token Druid, I guess. Well, let's hope we draw AoE in Reno. Oof, that's a pretty powerful start. Jeez. Of course I have no AoE. Wow. Holy crap, man. That's insane. Well, I guess the Gang Boss makes more sense. Although I'd like to maybe save it to get a bit of value. I might need every single drop of health I can get. If I play that, then the Refreshment Vendor next turn. I guess he's only going to do 2 damage to my face next turn because he's going to run that into that. I kind of need to get full value for my heals against a deck like this, I think. So I think I am Gang Boss now and then Refreshment Vendor next turn. I think that makes more sense because he'll take me down to 4, I assume. Yeah, okay. And then with his 3 attack he can run into that, so that works okay. Oh, don't be Hunter. Don't be Hunter. Don't be Hunter. Oh, instant pick. Oh no! Oh, and I wish you were Hellfire or the other one, not this one. That's awkward. I don't know if he runs any tokens that he can buff these. I should maybe have as least amount of HP as possible on the board. What would turn 5 be? And I have to play Refreshment Vendor now. If I don't play him now, play him on turn 5 is kind of awkward. I could play this on turn 5 and something else. Even that. Yeah, I think that's the most sense. feel very, very nervous against these decks. Wow. On the bright side, we'll almost clear his board, which isn't so bad. Oh, I wish I had 6 and I could have done that and healed him. That would have been kind of perfect.
Pay up.
Do I play this? Do I play it? I don't know if I play that or not. The taunt might be so important later on.
So many possibilities.
I think with a hunter's mark, I have to get a board presence. I don't like doing that, but it's awkward.
Elune, guide my lands.
Elune can guide my land. Oh Jesus! At least that we get value for that. Ugh, okay,
I got this.
I got this too.
My eyes.
Go Doomsayer. Come on, man! Nobody runs silence anymore. No silence! No silence! No silence! Oh, he's a Savage Roar. Why would he not have double Savage Roar? Oh man, it's so harsh. I need Reno or I've lost because of that stupid frickin' thing. Man. No Reno. Second game is a loss, I'm afraid, peoples. Let's tap and watch Reno come out. Oh well. Guys, that was the second game. Well played, Mr. The Flame. That's me 0% win on Druid pretty much with this deck itself. 3 losses, 3 Druids, and I think the majority of players are playing Druid just now. Although that was a different variant from the ones I've been losing in the other 2 games I'd lost. I'm not really sure I could have done anything much more there. And I have an AoE based deck. I just didn't really draw the AoE I needed when I needed it. But it's okay, you know, you can't win everything. That's me kind of running over my limit anyway. So thanks for tuning in, and I'm sure we'll have a Reno Lock 4 Cthulhu deck. I know we saw no Cthulhu action here. In fact, I only buffed Cthulhu like twice. But we'll have some coming very soon, I'm sure. Thanks guys. See you soon.